If you need an extra second to think before they move on, say it.
Staci Natalie didn't know she wanted to teach special education in the city when she first started her career. But after raising her own children, she found purpose at Vanguard Collegiate High School, in the kids who can easily be overlooked.
This is clearly where I was meant to be the whole time. I quickly learned the students I liked working with more were the ones who needed more assistance, were the ones who needed to find a way to connect to someone to be able to showcase their, their amazing attributes that they do have. I have faith in you. Everyone in here is going to pass this test. I have total faith. Really finding those connections. These kids need someone who cares. They need someone who's going to be there and be their champion. Regardless of their background, regardless of who they are, they deserve that.
When Natalie teaches English, all are welcome.
It's that understanding that I'm here for them.
After only 1 year, her room is the safe place.
They all have the potential, and I think for some of them, they never see that potential in themselves. English is a skill. I want them to feel that, this is the place they can come to, they can talk to me about things. They have the same hopes, wishes, and dreams that everybody else does, and we're just here to help them. Really? You have to look at each individual kid as they deserve an education, they deserve people who care, they deserve people who show up for them every day. All right, next one.
Chucho's here today, and Matthew's here today. Everybody clap your hands, we're all here today. They're so young, and everything is so new. Everything we do is fun, and it's exciting.
It's easy to see why Laura Snyder loves her job and her preschoolers.
Oh, I was terrified when I started. This is a whole new curriculum that I had no idea about. It was a huge learning curve for me, but getting to know the curriculum and seeing it work in the classroom is amazing. They have no socialization, and then they get to kindergarten, they're expected to sit at a desk all day and do their work, and they don't know how to sit next to somebody. They've never had to do it. It's been their brother or their sister or their little sibling. And so coming here, learning a routine, being in a classroom all day, being away from mom and dad, that's really hard for 6 hours a day. And giving them those skills now and giving them the exposure to the reading and the writing and the math now, I think is really going to make a difference overall. There's been a lot of examples of kids that came from our building that are moving on to kindergarten that have had, behavior issues or speech issues or OT issues that have been able to correct them and then not have those same things in kindergarten. I think that the district is growing and the pre-K programs are growing, and I think that the possibilities are endless.
What are my units that we use in metric system? I wanted to be a diplomat for a long time.
But an internship in college helped Corrine Calabreta choose a different path.
It was really inspiring to see how much was going on in your own country of what was needed. Going from, I want to be internationally focused as a diplomat to helping solve the world's problems, well, there's so much here that needs to be fixed too. It was a complete mind shift for me.
Calabreta found her new dream job as a substitute and now full-time teacher at School 22.
We teach both in English and Spanish. It's about 50-50 all day. We teach different subjects in English, different subjects in Spanish. We've had about 12 roster changes in the past 6 months since people started coming in from the hurricane.
The larger class size has created a learning curve and a year of growth for this new teacher.
It is sometimes difficult to transfer between the languages. What has been particularly difficult this year is with the influx of Puerto Rican students that come in with very little English, expecting them to perform in ELA and in math has been a transition. Trying to build that community, making time in the day for community building activities, team building activities, hands-on learning experiences that bring people together so that they feel like they're part of a community. Can you explain, please? It's been exhausting, but that's teaching, and there's always room to grow as a teacher, and that's why I love it. There's always something to improve on, and that just pushes you as an individual in a way that I think most other professions can't. 53 kilograms.
I graduated from college with degrees in human rights and dance, not at all career focused, and got into organic farming.
Rochester International Academy teacher Emma Brinkman decided to go back to school.
I thought I wanted to teach Spanish actually, and then ended up at this school and fell in love with it.
Got it?
just the backgrounds they come from, I think brings a unique perspective to their educational experience. So it felt like sort of a really great fit for me. Look.
Her biggest challenge, communicating content to students who speak 10 different languages.
I say a couple words in Arabic, a couple words in Nepali. So it's communicating with your body, gesturally, communicating with pictures, and breaking things down very, very, very slowly at first, and then building up from there. Not to mention the experiences that they've been through. That has been heartbreaking at times and like incredibly heartwarming just to see their resilience. Getting acclimated to school, American culture, and then dealing with the process of the traumas they've experienced as they develop as well. My turn. Topic. I find teaching to be analogous with performing, and so I have a lot of fun teaching, and I would like to believe that my students have fun in my classroom. I wouldn't want to be elsewhere.
Your first paragraph.
Cassandra Mussolino has learned a lot on her journey to becoming a teacher.
They can be who they are in my room. It's going to be your introduction.
After substituting for 6 years in New York City and in Syracuse, she now has her own 6th grade classroom at school number 34.
I'm really big on building relationships with them. I've learned throughout my journey, through subbing, through teaching in New York City, and just coming in contact with all different walks of life, that it all starts with them liking you, respecting you, and trusting you, and from there you really can do anything with any kid. If you have that foundation, that base with them, that core relationship with them, and really understand them and know what battles to pick and how to work through their problems with them, really anything is possible for them and for you. There's 50 kids in 6th grade. My main goal was to kind of fit in like I was never not here. So I really made it a point to get to know them as individual students rather than a 6th grade.
Her class is focused on learning and then the fun.
We have inside jokes, and they know, when it's time to be, we say silly, and when it's time to be serious. I really made it a point to make them almost like my family. It's nice to be recognized for the work that you put in. It's another reassurance. It's another way of knowing that I'm on the right path and making a difference.
All eyes are on School 52 1st grade teacher Christina Fobert.
After student teaching, I was like, wow, I can actually see myself doing this right away.
After substituting in a suburban district, Fobert jumped at the opportunity to teach in the city of Rochester.
I was like, wow, this is totally different. The culture is a little different. The teachers are held to a different respect with the students. They respond a little bit more. They're willing to participate.
Small groups are where connections with kids are made.
I've been kind of working on the engagement piece, engagement versus compliance. So instead of having the kids just go through the motions, the routine of the day, it's more engaging to involve them. Tell me, what's this word?
Fobert's ability to keep learning is an inspiration for her kids.
I feel super excited. I've always just been like a mediocre student, and now that I'm actually in my career, just to see it all being applied, and I actually did learn a lot, and now I'm being recognized for it, which is a huge deal. There's 2 things a sentence has. What made me stand out was my dedication. I think a lot of people are like, Christina, go home type of thing. I'm usually the first car here and the last to leave, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I know that's what a first-year teacher does. They need to be dedicated to be successful, and I think that's what my main goal has been this whole year.
The road to teaching took some unusual turns for Christopher Davis.
I can change a mixed number. I have my bachelor's degree in business, worked in banking for 2 years, and it just wasn't fulfilling to me. I needed something that would be giving back.
Davis went back to school, got his master's, and after teaching at a small charter school, found a new home at school number 8 in the Rochester City School District.
I saw such a need and such a lack of education, and I felt like I could make a difference by hopefully instilling a love of learning into students, of course, in urban areas that really didn't see a need for education.
He embraces the many emotional challenges of his 3rd and 4th graders.
Every day is a challenge, especially at the beginning of the year. It was very challenging. But I feel like just creating a safe environment, a calm environment, definitely helps them a lot. And just, being consistent being patient, and then just showing them that you care. I think children of minority backgrounds, they need to see people that look like them. I can identify with you, you can identify with me, and I think sometimes that helps you get a little further with them. Setting goals for them and setting expectations, and then having them rise those expectations. So just because they may have a disability does not mean that they can't accomplish certain goals.
So 2x plus 5 equals 13. What would have been your first step?
Caitlin Johnson has always been good at math, but decided to get her master's in literacy after seeing changes to Common Core.
Yes, I'm a math teacher, but literacy is really important in math as well, so I thought having the combination would be good. Because if they don't have that vocabulary piece, they can't necessarily move on and do the math aspect of it, and being able to read the word problems and identify what those words mean.
So
Johnson created a strategy that makes math easier to learn and avoids homework where kids can lag behind. She videotapes her lessons.
Originally, I just started using it as a behavior management piece, and then I started realizing it's really engaging to the kids. It's the use of technology, they really like it.
So I'm going to plug 23 in for A since I know what A is.
The kids don't have technology available to them at home to be able to watch my lessons, so I spend our class time having them watch the lesson that I videotaped and recorded, and then while that group is watching the lesson, I'm able to pull the kids who are struggling and work in small groups to catch them up to speed.
-3 divided by 6, it's going to end up being a fraction, right?
I feel like I make a bigger difference here. I love having the relationships I do with the kids.
Awesome.
They appreciate the relationships more with the teachers, I feel like, and I feel that I have a positive influence on their lives where some of them may not have that in their home lives. So I like being that role model for my students.
Perfect. All right.
Star.
Angela Rodriguez knew what job she wanted in September.
You know, I have first grade and sixth grade available. Which one do you want? I'm like, first grade, definitely. Like, I just love the little ones.
It didn't take long for this former nanny to feel right at home with her students at school number 3.
They're ready to learn. Like, at this age, they don't know too much about schooling. They've been in kindergarten, they know like their letters and sounds, but like, there's so much more to just letters and sounds and math. Being a friend, you know, being caring, and they're just so eager to learn. Like, they love to express themselves. It's probably my classroom management, my classroom environment overall. Like, I try to be positive and happy with the kids, so I think they kind of feed off of that, so they're also like happy and positive too.
She creates a culture for learning and inspiring.
I make connections probably with every single student, so it's kind of outside of this, the let's learn math or skills. I think you need to have that connection with the kids before they kind of want to learn. If they don't really like you as a teacher or feel that you're there for them, they're not going to want to learn. I love the city because they're so underprivileged, and a lot of people look at that as like a disability, like, oh, well, you know, they're not meeting the standards that they're supposed to be, but like as teachers, I kind of want to make that difference. My students, I believe in them, and they can do whatever they set possible besides like what society says that they can do. You know, they want to learn too. They just need someone to help them and push them. Move as quiet as you can.
Good job, guys. I knew ever since I was like a teenager I wanted to help people.
Ashley Holland has found her dream job.
I definitely can see from September to now the transformation in a positive way. I was anxious. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many kids. This is new to me. I want to, you know, make everything right. I want to, you know, be that amazing role model that I know I can be. Think about happy thoughts.
Holland is a safe place where kids can sort out their emotions and learn to cope.
They've taught me a lot about myself. They've taught me about patience. Every child is different. One way might help one child, might not help another. So learning those different connections and building those relationships.
We're going to use our rose today like we've used before.
I always have some type of symbol so they can hold it or touch it, which is the rose symbolizes the positive, the thorn symbolizes the negative, and what that is they have to state one positive and one negative about their day or week. When you just hand them a piece of paper, you know, just I think me personally, if you just hand me a piece of paper and you're just sitting there, it's not fun. Like, you got to make things fun, interactive, make jokes, have candy, have rewards.
Her reward, being part of the next generation to help kids succeed.
I think that we bring a lot of opportunity and unity. I think that from working just, the past few months here, everyone that I've met has really wanted to unify, from giving me their personal cell phone numbers to say, hey, let's meet for coffee so we can work together as a team.